Hello, everybody, and welcome into February 3rd, 2024. Oh my gosh, my hair looks like I just got out of bed. Wait, that's because I just got out of bed. There we go. We'll solve that problem. Well, it still looks horrible. What? I didn't solve anything. Anyway, good evening. Welcome into Ken Style Live with the Zoom Homies. The Zoom Homies with Ken Style Live. It is a little bit after 10. Running a little bit late. Let me go ahead and unmute their audio so they can talk and say hi to everybody.
Hello.
I can't see Zoom right now, but it looks like we have Darren, Rich, William, Sam, Greg, Jeff, Sin. Special guest coming directly from south of the Mississippi. Alex Cheek and Jeff is with us. You normally are not here.
Just because I don't want to say hi.
Do what, Greg?
Do not show up every night on time doesn't mean I'm a special.
On time? You usually show up after the show. On time would be great.
I said just because I don't show up on time every night doesn't mean I'm a special guest.
Fine.
I said don't want to say hi.
Okay. Oh, you probably are worn out, aren't you? You did an awful lot of work again today.
You did about an hour and a half worth more of steam cleaning the carpet in my son's room. I didn't wake up till 3:30.
Man.
I watched The Hill last night. That was good.
I tried to go to bed. I actually got out of bed about 4:08. Could not sleep. I came in here and started playing the dreaded. Now you can't see the baby's picture because I'm in the way. Started playing the dreaded Destiny 2. And I played it till a little after 5:15, something like that. And finally, I was tired enough to go to sleep then. But Jeff, you're referring to the thumbnail picture, right? When you made your statement a while ago. And I got to fix this problem. So
what's in behind you right now is what I was referring to.
Oh yeah.
He looks a little bit like you, and I'm just wondering how you looked at that same age.
Nothing like that. I was pretty much bald because as you know, maybe possibly remembering back in the 60s, kids didn't have long hair like they do now. The kids were bush, bold, or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't thinking so much about the hair as just the facial features.
Oh yeah, I
I
don't
see
know.
some resemblance there.
I'll have to dig up some pictures. So now I have audio. All I did was re-clicked on in the Zoom. I re-clicked on the headset one that's already checked, and audio is now coming through perfect. I don't know what it sounds like on YouTube though. I haven't got anything. Tony Wallow was first. He and I had a couple of pleasantries back and forth. It's about 4:30. Darren Gilholm was second. Ghetto was third. Greg was fourth. The day the music died. Yeah. See, Sin caught on to the theme of the day. Good job, Sin. Appreciate that. Skiman was there. Skiman says hello,
Some
Rick
things you
Lakes.
don't forget.
No. No. Oh no, Rick's got back issues. That is not good. Yeah, back issues are nothing to be messed with. That's something that is actually very scary. Scary. 4 minutes into the show, and I can't even say an English word. I seen Mike Wojcik's name. He said hello, everyone. Rick was busy helping a friend move stuff up and down stairs. Yeah, that'll get you. Long Dog's got some French fries with pepper X. What is pepper X? Does anyone know off the top of your head? What
He
is
says
pepper
later
X?
it's 2.6 million Scoville units.
Oh, in other
Supposed to be
words,
the hottest pepper so
So
far.
fairly
okay,
warm.
little
Little
warm,
bit.
yeah, little warm. Um, so it's kind of funny too because in light of the fact we were late, I wore my golf get-up today, which is the hat, the t-shirt, and it's got the clubs on it, a pair of short pants, and these lovely green socks that aren't going to come through because of the green screen. Okay?
Green.
Oh, I thought maybe you just wore a hole in them from all the golf you've been playing.
No, I actually thought that green spot was the heel. It's not. It's a putting surface.
Oh,
Because I thought, well, we're late. And I told Mrs. K going over, I said, don't worry about it. I'll take the brunt for this. I'll tell them Grandpa had a grandpa moment and just forgot, and that's the reason we're late.
Were they waiting on? Were they waiting on you to eat lunch or eat?
They were
dinner
waiting
or
on us to
something?
sing. They were actually waiting on us to sing "Happy Birthday" to said child in the background there. Yes. No, everybody had already eaten, which was fine. We didn't even have our shoes off, and we're in the house when because the baby needed to sleep. He's still at that age where he takes a nap, and he needed to take his nap. And he was getting, as you may see later on, he was getting a little bit grumpy in his mood, I guess is the best thing to say. I don't know if this one will come through or not. Yeah, there's one of the more calmer, grumpier moments. Gumpier. He was violently moving that chair. You wouldn't think a little kid that little could move a big chair, but he was. Mentioned that Rick had. Long Dog says they bring up the subject of back problems. His sister's going to need major surgery. Oh my goodness, that's not good news to hear. So I hope everything goes well for her. So yes, Alex, they were waiting on us. We sang happy birthday, got a few pictures, and then Mrs. K got us a plate of food. And we enjoyed that. A lot of people. I saw one of my son's childhood friends today, and this kid I did recognize. Those guys were two peas in a pod, where one was at, the other was at, and vice versa. And he looks just like he did 30 years ago, except he's a little taller and a lot bigger. But I instantly knew who he was, and his dad and his mom as well. So it was good. It was good running into them. Hadn't seen them in a very long time. So there she is. Mrs. K says hi, and how is everyone today? And it comes through as L. I'm gonna have to get a picture on that phone for her. For when I thought she had a picture. Maybe I got to go into her Google account. Speaking of Google account, I want to discuss after the stream my Google account. I'm going to show you guys something and get your thoughts on something. I reached out to someone south of the Mississippi, and basically I got a picture of Tammy sent to me as an answer. So
You
I'm no
show me
longer
your
recommending
Facebook
him as a
account, not
technician.
you show me your Facebook account, not your Google account. So that's not my fault.
I watched. Okay, so I kind of narrowed it down. I believe I think it might be a Google issue. It is my Facebook account. It only happens to me. I tested it today with Mrs. K's, and she does not have the same issue. I will show you what the issue is. I don't want to do it over the live stream. We'll do it afterwards. Um, we'll go from there. I also have a comment to pass along to Sam, which he probably already knows, and Bill, and he probably already knows, and Rich, and I don't know if Rich knows or not. But I discovered something last night about Destiny 2 that I find quite interesting. And more on that later. So anyway, anybody got anything? Because as you saw in the opening, and if you didn't see the opening, if you were watching YouTube, this is the opening. I literally got nothing. Nothing.
What's that old song from the Depression era? I got plenty of nothing.
Yeah, I guess um, I sat here for a while trying to get tired. In fact, Darren's probably really upset with me because I sent him about 15 links to 15 different songs and bands and groups and whatnot. And I listened to a lot of younger talent, a lot of older talent. I listened to some people I didn't even know existed from the 50s and the 60s. It was really interesting. Brian May held a thing just this past June, and he went out and he introduced everybody. He goes, "Now I've got a special guest," and this special guest turned out to be some 11-year-old kid. And if you were to close your eyes and or turn away, you would never guess that the kid playing that guitar was 11 years of age. He was extremely talented. Was really worth watching. And I apologize to Darren for bombarding him, but I thought, well, we share a lot of things back and forth, and I thought he might enjoy listening to some of those. I did watch one tribute band for the Beatles that I swear to you, we, the Zoom homies, could get together with a band and do a better job of a tribute band to the Zoom homies than these guys were. They were, and that's with Alex being our lead singer too. They were horrible. Just my opinion. So, Copperal Coins in the house. Good evening, Copperal Coins. Kind of a joke between the two of us. We all know that goes back to Good Morning America. Good morning Vietnam, good morning America. That's it. Good night. Show's over. See you later. Nice being here. Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Have a good night. I think this is where I need to insert my cricket soundbite again.
Now, Ken, you'll be happy to know I did take your advice and did silently say goodbye to that customer.
Good.
But I blocked him on Facebook and I blocked him on the call, so he can no longer call me or text me or message me on Facebook or anything.
Does he have your email?
As far as I'm aware, no, he does not.
Okay. Good.
Because what happened was he called. I was in the shower or something. He called, left a voicemail. I tried to return his call. I couldn't return his call, so I left a voicemail. And then he texted, and then I tried to send him a text back, and then I didn't hear anything. And then any calls that I tried to make after that were completely ignored.
yeah. We'll discuss that after the show as well. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you did what I suggested that you do, and not just because I suggested. I believe 9 other people in here, 8 other people excluding yourself, told you basically the same thing. Mrs.
If
K
this guy
says no,
really
not the
wants my,
cricket.
if this guy really wants my help on doing stuff, he's been in my house before, so he knows where I live. Whether he says he's doesn't know my address or not, if he really needs my help, he can find a way to look me up and come knocking on the door.
Well, since Sheridan is such a big metropolitan, you might have got lost on one of the 5 streets you have there. So, yes, I agree. He's been there. He should be able to remember how to get back to your house. And I kind of thought that the other day, and maybe I didn't get that, across, but that was basically what I was alluding to. But yeah, I'm glad you did. And we can discuss it more, unless this is completely going to bomb, and we'll discuss it now. Mrs. K, do you know a lady that goes by the name of Chili Pino? Ha ha ha. She's kind of getting famous. I know a guy, Chili Chinglish, has a YouTube channel, and I enjoy watching him. He tests all kinds of weird foods. You'd really like him, Long Dog. Let me see if I can get his link, and I'll put it in the chat for you. I don't have the crickets readily available. I thought I did. I'm looking through my sources now. I must have taken those out. Yes, Chili Chinglish. I don't remember, Long Dog. It might have been you. I'm not sure. But if you are already aware of Chili Chinglish, if you could drop the link, that'll save me from going and finding it, and maybe everyone else can check him out. I like the fact of how he does his presentations. I like how he explains everything and his opinion on it. I think it's really cool. So, okay. Long Dog is taking credit for dropping that name.
I
Yes.
dropped the link in chat.
You dropped a link in chat. I don't see it yet.
Zoom chat, sorry.
Oh, Zoom chat. Gotcha.
Did you know crickets were a band?
Yes.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Is that who you're referring to?
Yep.
Yeah. I actually did know that. Tragic how his career ended.
Yeah. Richie Valens too.
Oh, there's quite a few of them.
Big bopper.
Yeah. Okay, I want that.
Waylon
there.
Jennings was supposed to be on that plane
Put that there.
and
Okay,
switched up with
still-
Robertson, let him have his seat.
Let's see here, Jeff. I will tell you if that's the correct one or not. Oh, that's Chili Pino. I have never heard of her until today. I will check her out later and let you
Okay.
guys know. But I would say that's the correct one. Yes, I thought you had found Chili Chinglish.
Well, Long Dog just put that one up as a link, so maybe I didn't find the right one.
Well, I clicked on yours. Let me click on his now and see. We get the chance to visit you. You visit me. I'll make Lumpia. One thing we are not going to do.
Olympia is
Apparently, we're going to be cooking. Chili Chinglish is the one that he recommended or someone recommended. I'll give him credit. He's up to 481. We need to get him some love. I don't know what his watch time is like, but he's 19 away from being eligible to be monetized. So we're going to have to go on a crusade to help him out a little bit. Maybe somebody will watch the channel and go help him out. That would be great. So now I've already subscribed and I have notifications for Chili Chinglish. In case anyone is wondering who we're talking about out in YouTube land, what the heck did I just did? This is Chili Chinglish coming across here in just a second. Maybe sometime today would be good. Well, interesting. I have Chili Chinglish on OBS, but I still don't have it over on the live. I'm not live. That's why. What the heck? I've been watching this live since I started. Now suddenly I'm not live. There we go. 17 watching and 0 likes. That cannot be correct. Let me refresh that at the top. 17 watching and 5 likes. That's better. So anyway, this is Chili Chinglish. I recommend you go watch it. He is interesting to watch. You can scroll down through there. Oh, he did a thing on Johnny Scholesbill's Uncensored Throw Up Edition. There you go. You want to talk about an attention-grabbing thumbnail? There you go, right there. So check him out. 6 likes now. Thank you, Greg. I will check that all out later. Sam, are you still around in Zoom chat?
I'm here.
You can actually lock the docs on OBS. I don't know why mine wasn't working before. I experimented with it today. I moved some docs around, unlocked them, moved them around. They didn't stay. Moved them around again, locked them, moved them screen to screen to screen, and they actually stay there at what you've got. So, which is good. There's another one of those slight little adjustments that I used to hate to make.
I have a question for everybody. Off the top of my head. The church is looking at getting security cameras, like I mentioned before. They some kind of wireless security camera, so they don't have to run all the cables and everything. Do you think I know they make the security cameras that you can put an SD card in them and it will continuously record. But my question is there a way to remotely view the cameras, the Wi-Fi cameras like that, without having to have a subscription? Or do you have to have a subscription to be able to remotely view any of the cameras?
My daughter has a camera set up in our garage looking out the front. That she has an app on her phone for she can view without any subscription. I don't know the details.
But my thinking was, if it didn't require any subscription, does it connect to some company website, or do you have to like set up your router in a certain way to make it work? Or but you wouldn't know that. But
this one goes through our Wi-Fi, and I didn't do anything to the router. All she knows is the password for the Wi-Fi in the house, and it's hooked to her phone somehow.
I just find, I'm not saying it's not out there, but I just find it hard to believe that you'd be able to get a camera system, a Wi-Fi camera system, and be able to connect to your phone and view remotely without a subscription, because we have that through our security system, but we're having to. It's a monthly charge, of course, but
Yeah, Alex, my brother has that where he does remotely through his, and it's no subscription as far as I know. I don't know how to contact you to give you any info, but
You guys can you can do that after the show ends, and that way the only people will get it will be us.
Sure.
That way it didn't go out over YouTube land.
Yeah.
They'll figure. It was just brought up at church last Sunday. They'll figure out something. Just
put a fence up, which is cheaper. Go the cheapest route possible. And then the other question I have is, do you think the security camera is actually going to catch a good enough glimpse of the driver's face and or the license plate that you're going to track these people down?
Okay.
I spelled it wrong. Okay.
I have no idea. I just know how our security cameras we have here at the house work, and I know they make the DIY wireless ones and DIY wired ones, and that's about it. And they connect to your Wi-Fi, and that's about all I know.
And you're doing
So
this because they're just driving through the yard and tearing the yard up at the church, right?
something to that effect.
Okay.
That's the
So
way
at
I
this church,
understand it.
you haven't had any vandalism at this church like you did at your old church?
Oh no,
Okay, well that's good. That's good.
not that I'm aware of. Not unless something has happened really, really recently that we're not aware of. But yeah, I'm just trying because I know when business meeting comes, I know somebody will say something to me and ask me, do I have any suggestions or this, that, and the other thing. I just kind of want to. I just, I just know that if we get our Wi-Fi situation solved, we can pretty much get whatever kind of system, whether it be a Wi-Fi or a wire that they want to get.
Right, right. Yeah, hopefully, I
There's
mean, I
been an
take it one
internet
step at
system
a
in now,
time.
Dallas. You could put a internet based camera system in, and they could access it right from their own Wi-Fi.
Mike
On the internet.
Wojcik says sorry, Bill. Mike Wojcik says the camera will still have to be powered, either wired or rechargeable battery. So you need to keep that into mind as well. Oh,
We
Mrs.
solve it.
K.
Sorry.
Mrs. Oh, you're fine. I was just
Yeah.
pointing something out, Mrs. K. I highlighted it. I'll embarrass her over national YouTube.
And that's another thing. The cameras either need to be connected to a DVR system with a big hard drive somehow, each camera, the way I understand it, each camera needs its own SD card to be able to save footage to locally, or you need some kind of remote internet website to be able.
Use your senses, guy.
How big of an SD card would you be able to put in there? And I don't mean the size of the SD card. I mean the storage size of the SD card.
Depends on the camera, but some of them support like 512 gigabytes. Some of them are like 200 and something gigabytes. But that depends on the make and model of whatever camera system.
Is that a big enough memory card or SD card or whatever you want to call it that you're going to be able to get enough video recorded to catch someone? If that the goal is to catch people doing this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I
I
don't
would
know.
think so. 500 gigs is a lot of storage. So I would think you'd be able to save at least a week or two worth of footage at a time, week or 2 or 3 worth of footage at a time. And then it depends on if it's recording constantly or if it's just recording when there's motion detected.
Right. According to our good friend at Google, 500 gigabyte SD card looks like it'll hold about, I don't know, that's confusing. 14 hours and 56 minutes at 4K, 80 hours, 14 minutes, going down a step and on and on and on. So, yeah, that's a long time. But if your luck is like my luck, you all of a sudden would run out of storage space about the time the car is driving through the yard.
Well, see, the way security cameras work, if it fills up, it'll just continuously write over the footage. So you never have
Oh,
to.
okay. All right. So it never fills up, in other words, right? That what you're saying?
You'll just if it does fill up, it will delete the oldest thing, and so you'll just lose whatever it was like 2 or 3
Okay.
happened like a week or 2 ago, unless you save it.
Also, according to our friend Google, you have a DVR hooked to a security camera for 1080p at 1920 by 1080 with H.264 compression, you need 35 to 40 gigabytes per day. So if you use the big number, 40 gigabytes per day, it would hold about 12 days worth on a 500 gigabyte drive.
Well,
Not
all
quite
I-
that much if you round the gigabytes like everybody does. But
all I know right now is I'm gonna when we redo the internet, I'm gonna be getting a couple access points and a couple of 8-port switches to be able to power those access points. But those 8-port PoE switches, if I get 2 of those 8-port PoE switches, those 2 switches will provide enough power for however many security cameras they want to
Matthew
get. They
can't.
won't plug in. So if they decide they want to wire it, can.
Yeah, Matthew Camp brings a good point up. Should probably set it up to record 30 seconds to maybe a minute. He thinks that's how they have their setup with 256 gigabyte micro SD card.
Get down.
So I don't know if you want it continually recording or if you want it to be motion sensor activated or what, but that's a good point that he made right there. If it's activated by motion, you're not going to use as much of the SD card. That'll last a very long time, I would think. And unless
Well, I
they're
figure
doing
that's all
donuts. Go ahead.
Well, I figure that's all it would need to be because that's all we've got here is when it detects motion, it records. But our system here does not record any more than 2 minutes per clip. It won't record any more than 2 minutes per clip, and that's not a setting in the settings that I can change. That's just the way it is. It's hard coded like that.
Mrs. K says also to Mike Sinvi, the G-Nang is very good. To Copperall Coins, Matthew and Mr. Jeff R, hello, and more hellos. And I tried to leak that right before the scroll started. The scroll came up and kind of ruined that. So as what is becoming a habit here, I will go back to the main Zoom screen once this is over. So your camera at home, is that activated by motion, or is it constantly running?
No, it's activated by motion.
Okay, so I must write that down when I tell the thieves to break in your house. Activate the camera.
It can't.
Wait 2.5 minutes and go in. Okay, got it.
There is no option for if you set it to record or send notifications. There is no option for continuous recording. It's either motion detected or not.
Okay. I don't know anything about them, and maybe you know what? I'll get with my son. That's what he does for a living. I'll run that theory behind him. Maybe give you his number, and you guys can talk, and he can point you in the right direction. And Jeff's brother, and Jeff can help you out. The one thing about our group is we are a very good group of resources for
our
things.
Our old church has a wired security system with the DVR box and a hard drive, and they got up in the ceiling and outside and ran cables and did all that. They have about 8 cameras.
Yeah.
But they are not connected up. They're not connected online, so it really don't do anybody good as far as sending notifications to your phone, because you can't do that if you don't have internet connection.
Real quick, there's the email to connect to us or to connect to me if you'd like to get on the Zoom panel, case.z00m@gmail.com. I do know people watch the channel, and I do know they're paying attention to that because I got invitations today at that Gmail account to play games, different games with different people across the world. We'll discuss more about that here in a minute. Jeff, we're getting some overtime hours in, even though you're with us on the Zoom panel. Oh, so much for overtime. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's hard with 2 Jeffs.
Oh, that's right. Jeff R and Jeff P.
There you
go. We're going to have to work on that. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make it Ken Stout simple proof here in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Just a generic shout out to everybody on YouTube. See you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. 15 watching, and last I seen was 5 likes, but I'm sure that's changed by now. Pressing the button. Before I go, I have to give the one nightly shout out that if I don't, I'll never hear the end of it. Thank you, Mike Wojak, for being with us in the chat. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah, and Greg, thank you as well. By the way, you were 4th tonight.
Yes, I know that.
I got a jab
Here,
where I
I
can
thought you were
jab.
talking about ghetto.
Ghetto's no longer. Ghetto is A, not streaming, and B, he's not on Zoom. So Ghetto is probably doing this right here, right now.
Yeah, he's asleep after a couple of days of all of that stuff he's been doing.
Oh,